Rovers kept us waiting, but we remain unbeaten for 2019. Tight game against Millwall, 2-0 down in the Den. We'll talk about it next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match review, this time looking back at Blackburn Rovers match up against Millwall at the Den. Now, we'll get to that in just 1 second. Now, if you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button, keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, world football related. We're going to all here under one roof. Now, let's talk about it. The match itself, it was live in front of the Sky cameras. Millwall up against Rovers, ended up being a 2-0 win for Rovers, courtesy of goals, very late goals, and 2 goals back-to-back as well. Joe Nuttall justifying his first start in the Championship with a goal on 86 minutes. Wasn't the most prettiest of goals, but ultimately I think he got the final touch. Still some questions out there to see. It might have be a big fat OG in favour of Millwall, but I think everybody wants to give it to Joe Nuttall. So in our honours, we are giving it to him on the 86th minute. And it was quickly followed up by Adam Armstrong, substitute for the day, coming on, and a huge difference maker he was. He scored on the 87th minute, about 18 seconds after Joe Nuttall put us in front. So a monstrous, bold move by Mowbray, starting Joe Nuttall ahead of the likes of Graham and Armstrong. Armstrong coming on deep in the second half, and he hit. Not only did he score his own goal, but he pretty much set up Nuttall for the second. So excellent person to bring on for Rovers in the Championship, and he's starting to prove his worth. 13,862 fans were in attendance to watch this game. Luna was watching with me here on the comfort of our stadium in front of the cameras. But yes, quick look at some of the statistics here. The total shots, Millwall had 7, we had 5. Rovers actually dominated possession, 51% compared to their 49. Millwall were better successful with the passing. 66% of their passes went to their intended target. 62 of Rovers' passes went to their intended target. We were more successful with our dribbles, 5 to their 2. We were more dominant in the air as well. 33 of the aerial tackles were won compared to 26 for Millwall. And as for the tackles on the ground, we were more successful as well. 21 tackles to Millwall's 13s, and they also had more corners than us, 2-1. It was a very, very bizarre game because obviously Millwall did lose Elliott early doors, and when I say early, I mean within the first 60-90 seconds. He pulled a dislocated his shoulder. He was quickly substituted by Morison, who pretty much played the whole game. And then the referee was actually substituted midway through the first half. So quick look at the starting lineup. First and foremost, it was for the hosts, Millwall, Archer between the sticks, Meredith, Cooper, Hutchinson and Romeo with the back 4. Then we have Ferguson, Tunnicliffe, Leonard and Wallace in a flat back 4-man midfield. Up top, Elliott and O'Brien. How about Rovers? All Rovers lined up with right between sticks, Bell, Lenihan, Rodwell and Bennett. In the back 4, Bennett was also skipper in Charlie Mulgrew's absence. Evans and Travis in those 2 central midfield slots. Dak, Conway and Reed in those attacking trio. And Joe Nuttall with the coveted striker's role for the day. Now here are my match ratings. Right with a 7. Amari Bell with a 5. Lenihan and Rodwell both with 8s. Bennett with a 6. Evans with a 6. Travis with a 7. Dak with a 6. Conway with a 6. And Reed with a 7 and Joe Nuttall with a 7. Now let's take a look at some more stats for you. These are the shots. The blue are Rovers, the orange are Millwall. Obviously they did have more shots than us. There's a couple of weird ones out there. There's one, I have no idea what that is happening. That little short shot must have been a shot that was instantly blocked. Armstrong's goal was an excellent counter-attacking display. Once that highlight pops up on the Rovers YouTube channel, make sure you check that out. Quick look at some more stats for you. We had more passes than they did, 383 to their 358. We also had more touches, 553 to their 537. We also made more clearances, 19 to 11. They had more blocks than us, 15 to 9. They also caught offside 3 times to our 1 side. And down the bottom there, you can see a bit of a detailed review of of where the shots took place for the respective goalkeepers. Now, how about this? If you're a heat map man, just like me, is a quick look at some of the heats where all down the left hand or down the right hand side for Millwall seem to be their main area, and that is where Jed Wallace runs up and down and creates what he does what he does for Millwall. So that was the dominant area for them. It looks like quite a hot area for David Raya's spot as well. He was kept a little bit busy as Millwall tried to get themselves into the game. But ultimately, Rovers had the 2 bits of magic. It was not pretty, unfortunately. It was selected for the Sky viewing, and I think a lot of people might have switched off around about 70th minute mark. as my phone just goes explodes into life here. But ultimately, Rovers coming out top with the two goals and the 3 points. Meanwhile, what else went on this weekend in the Championship? Let's take a look at it. Obviously, Friday night kickoff, it was Leeds up against Derby, the sort of scandalous events unfolding between Leeds and Derby with the old Spygate. Ended up being a 2-0 win for Leeds as they can maintain their top of the pops stance in the Championship. Next week's opponents, Ipswich picked up a big victory, 1-0 over Rotherham. Also, Wigan picked up a comprehensive 3-0 victory over Aston Villa. Sheffield United also with a big win as well to move into second spot. Norwich and West Brom held out with a 1-1 draw. Casey Palmer scored for Bristol City up against Bolton, and Preston also forced a 1-1 draw against Swansea City. And this is what it looks like in the table. Leeds still flying high, 54 points on the board. Sheffield United are in second spot now on goal difference, ahead of Norwich City, who are in third. West Brom in fourth. Middlesbrough in fifth. Derby are in sixth. As for the bottom end of the table, Ipswich are propping up the table with, but they did pick up the victory, so they closed the gap in on Bolton, who are in second from bottom, and Reading are third. As for Rovers, we now climb to 14th. 6 points adrift of the playoffs. Not too shabby, but there are some informed sides above us, including Hull. Bristol City are crawling their way up into the playoffs as well. They're in 7th spot. So Casey Palmer swapping us for a possible promotion battle with Bristol City. Anyway, what takes place next weekend? Norwich up against Birmingham. That's a Friday night kickoff. What else we got going on? Today's opponents, Millwall. They will be taking on, where are they? They are taking on Middlesbrough next weekend up at the North East. We are taking on Ipswich at Ewood Park. Bolton up against West Brom. That is a late game on Monday. Sheffield Wednesday up against Wigan as well. And Luna is trying to stick her nose in on the camera. You might be able to see her. You might not be. Depends what I do. But depends what I do with my edit. But ultimately, a massive win for us against Millwall. It was always going to be a difficult place to go, the Den. And obviously, when the two sides met at Ewood Park earlier in the season, was battled out to a 0-0 draw. So it looked that was going to way this game was heading, but Rovers dug deep. And for once, it wasn't us that collapsed in the last 10-15 minutes. It was the opposition. Apparently, the statistics show that Rovers and Millwall were the two worst championship sides for conceding late goals, but ultimately, it wasn't us. But anyway, that's just a little bit what I've had to say about the match. What did the opposition fans have to think about the result? Here's Michael Avery and his comments shortly after the match.
That's a tough one to take today. Back home from the game, where I was optimistic that we'd actually get something from it. 3 points was ideally what I wanted, as you can imagine, but you know, I took a point against the Blackburn Rovers, who score a lot of goals. First half was arguably one of the worst games of football I've ever seen, and that is no exaggeration. Not just saying this to add to the drama, but I cannot remember a single piece of action that was worth mentioning in that first half. Neither keeper was tested. The football was clumsy, the passing was clumsy. Neither team wanted to keep retaining the ball, if you will. But it was just poor. It was a poor advert for Championship football, if honest. Second half, even stringing 2 passes together would have been marginally better. But Millwall, you know, there were moments where we looked a better side. Romeo came close after a nice little knockback from Gregory. And also Ryan Leonard had a good chance from distance, which tested the goalkeeper, but not really any major difficulty for Blackburn to deal with. The game turned on its head, obviously, when Armstrong was brought on, and he just changed the game completely. Blackburn's first goal, you know, a nice little link-up play down the side, ball back across. It was given as an own goal, I believe, by Joe Nuttall, but I'm not sure. Some media outlets have given it as a goal by Nuttall, I believe. But I don't think it was overly deserved by Blackburn. They may feel it was, you know, they were happy with the goal. But then 60 seconds later, 90 seconds later, Armstrong, he just made it the Armstrong show. You know, a ball through to him, sort of half mugged off our back four. He's looked up, had a shot, curled it around Archer, went in the back of the net. It wasn't a good game. Tony Mowbray said after the game it wasn't a good game and he wouldn't have paid to watch it. And I'll be surprised if there was many other Millwall fans who left there thinking they wanted to watch it. Come you Lions, onwards and upwards. It's going to be a long one this season.
Now you've heard a little bit what I have to say about the match, and you've heard a little bit what Michael Avery had to say about the match. What did Tony Mowbray have to say shortly after the final whistle? Here he is. Luna, what's going on?
God, thank God for the last 5 minutes. I was just saying in there, I'm glad I didn't have to pay for the other 85 minutes. But that wasn't a very good game of football, let's be honest. But for us, it's a massive 3 points. It's important. We've got 2 home games in the league after Newcastle on Tuesday night, and an opportunity for us to just keep our season rolling along and see where it goes. It's obviously very, very difficult to come here and get a victory. They've won 4 on the bounce, and we put the points in the bag, get on the bus and go home and get ready for the next one. It seemed a stalemate, didn't it? But I've been to Millwall in the past where the game's been like that, and they score from a set play or a cross or a ricochet in the end, and they win 1-0, and you go away thinking, God, I hope I don't have to. We don't play like that again, really. And yet, great today to come and the substitutions make the difference. And they're always big, you know, taking Bradley Dack off, put Adam Armstrong on. It's you're taking off probably your best high quality footballer, but you're putting on a different attribute, you're putting on speed and somebody who wants to drive and run at and commit defenders, which Adam did for both goals, really. And delighted that we made that choice, and delighted we got the points. No, listen, got to the point where he was really frustrated, I think, today. We found it really hard to get through their 8-man block, really, and then they press with the two strikers, and they make it difficult for you to go anywhere with the ball other than long. And that's why the game was so scrappy and so attritional. Bradley, it just wasn't a day for Bradley because there was no space to play and he couldn't get on the ball. Yeah, I think Leonard, I think rightly so, got man of the match. He was amazing today. I was just saying to him in there, you know, without his normal defensive partner, he took the lead really today, and he was very dominant. I think credit to Jack Rodwell, who's very experienced and plays his position, of course. But delighted defensively. Important that we got clean sheet. It's, you know, it feels like a long time since we've had a clean sheet, and to come away to Millwall and get one is a really important result for us. Yeah, I thought so. Right from the off, he got involved. He got wrapped up in the football match. Really, is what you ask of these players. Get involved, get wrapped up, go to war if you have to with the centre half. And I thought, you know, if Joe didn't try and dive across the front of their centre half there for that goal, it would never have been a goal. And so, whilst it might not be his goal, because I saw it ricocheted back off the defender and went in. If he hadn't have made the movement and dived in, it was never going in. They just cleared it. So brilliant credit to Joe, and particularly as we'd pushed him in a wider area and he dived across the front into the 6-yard box, lunging at it to try and get the goal. So listen, he's put himself right back in the forefront of my mind. You know, Danny Graham cannot play 3 games a week every week, and Joe Nuttall gives us a different type of footballer who can run in behind as well as give us a level of physicality. Well, listen, the phone never stops for Joe, to be honest. I'll sit down with Joe and his advisors, and unless we bring an attacking front player in of that ilk, of some physicality, Joe will have to stay, and hopefully he wants to stay and help our team do well, and as long as he gets minutes on the pitch, I'm sure he'll be happy to do that. The worst case scenario, of course, is the window shuts, we keep him, then we get everybody fit and he gets off the bench again and doesn't make the 18. But because I think he's at a stage where he needs to play, score goals, play in front of a crowd that, you know, either are cheering him or booing him, and so his personality develops, and he's got amazing attributes. He's 6'4", he can run all day, and as you saw, he's a goal threat. He scores goals for fun in the 23s, and the next step for him is to do it at our level. Yep, both injured. Whether they're ready for Tuesday, I'm not sure. We'll wait and see. Paul Downing, who would have potentially played as well, the third centre half, missing today, was ill in the hotel this morning. Had to get the train back to keep away from the players. So yeah, we'll assess how they are tomorrow, and we've got obviously a game Tuesday against Newcastle that we would like to win. We'd like to, you know, at home, we've got a good record at home, and I know it's playing a Premier League side and it's going to be difficult, but we need to keep some confidence and a level of expectation going. We've got 2 home games in the league after that against Ipswich and Hull. If both won today, both give them a lift for their next league match, of course, but if we're at our best at home, we're a match for anybody.
Now you've heard a little bit what Mowbray's had to say, you've heard a little bit what I've had to say, and you've heard what the opposition fans have to say. What about the players and some of the other Rovers fans while they are in full voice on Twitter? Well, Elliott Bennett said this: what a fantastic win. Horrible game of football. We stood up to the battle very well, and then 2 great attacking moments won us the game. Pleased for big Joe Nuttall or Afro getting us in front. Safe journey and enjoy the trip home, Rovers. Meanwhile, Darragh Lenihan also said this: brilliant win today against a tough team. Buzzer for Nuttall getting the goal. Fully deserves it. Fair play to the fans for making the journey. Safe travels home. Darragh Lenihan is in there twice for whatever reason, but we'll skip him. David Raya said this: massive 3 points of the clean sheet. Thanks for the kind messages. I just have a few stitches on my eyebrow. Thanks to the fans that travelled down to back up the team. #Rovers. Meanwhile, Iceman BRFC said this: Travis and Lenihan were good, but let's be honest here, the guy that changed the game was Armstrong, in my opinion. But you have to be delighted to see 2 academy players doing well. Meanwhile, Ben Collingwood posted this picture. What a result and what a day out supporting Rovers at Millwall. To top things off, bumped into Jack Rodwell and Corey Evans on the train home. Top boys. That is quite a nice little pickup, isn't it? Meanwhile, Mickey said this. Great way to win, lads. Adam Armstrong, top draw. Bring on the next 6 points to go. Hashtag come on you blues. Hashtag Tony Mowbray's Blue Whale Army. Andrew Wilding said this. Difficult game, difficult conditions, but shows the mentality of the team to grind it out and get that result. Lois Travis, though, you know, on fire. Matt Stilto said this. Great game to win for Rovers. Counter-attacking football, very effective. Tony Mowbray summing up by saying, that was a terrible game of football. One that we won and we move forward in a positive start to 2019. Hashtag Yellow Yellows. Meanwhile, a celebrity Rovers fan, Foggy, said this. Excellent result. Thumbs up. Cheers. And he's got a beer and all that. Meanwhile, Graham Ray said this. Great substitutions by Mogga. Made 1, scored 1. Get in Armstrong. That's right. But yeah, ultimately a big result for Rovers. Taking home all 3 points. And we go again, midweek up against Newcastle. That will be next. So hopefully we can continue our cup exploits as well. Well, that's pretty much all I've got for you today, folks. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a good old thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe. Keep your bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We're going to all here under one roof. Also, so we have got the Newcastle game, quick fire. Which we'll have a preview up very, very soon. That game is on Tuesday. And then after that, we go again against Ipswich Town at home. Team that are struggling, but they are managed by ex-Blackburn Rovers manager Paul Lambert. So they've just won as well, turned the corner perhaps. Maybe, just maybe, this is the springboard for Ipswich to get themselves out of the old drop zone. But anyway, I'm going to let you get out of here. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, thumbs up, subscribe. Ciao for now. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.